The nation's best MMA returns on June 15th with ROCKTAGON XXV, Way of the Warrior, at the UAW Event Center, local number 1005 in Cleveland, Ohio. ROCKTAGON's National Pro-Am Series returns to pick Cleveland's best MMA talent against the best fighters from around the globe. The main event featuring Taiwan, the Rising Dragon Howard, taking on Chicago's Quentin McCradle. Tickets starting at $35 are on sale now at ROCKTAGONWorldwide.com or any discount drug mart. Music by American Wi-Fi. ROCKTAGONWorldwide.com.
We send it back up to the ROCKTAGON. Jake Digman bringing out our next fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is in the ROCKTAGON Professional Middleweight Division, and it is brought to you by Tilted Kilt, the official after party of ROCKTAGON MMA 25. Prepare for battle. Introducing first, making his way down the aisle into the blue corner, please welcome Muhammed the Hurricane Abdullah.
Muhammed Abdullah, fighting out of Vision MMA in Cincinnati, Ohio, but hailing from Detroit, Michigan, 27 years old. Allen Park, Michigan, 27 years old. 3-0 official record as an AMI, but he has a 9-4, currently ranked as the number 4 amateur middleweight in the state of Ohio, and he's making his pro debut here tonight in the ROCKTAGON.
I spoke to David McKinney, who is there's probably no better authority on Midwestern MMA, especially at the amateur ranks, and it said Abdullah is just an absolute physical specimen, one of the best guys to hit the professional ranks in a while. Very excited to see what his debut holds. And you look at that, I mean, 9-4, and really there was only 4 sanctioned fights, 3-1 in those, but he's on a 6-fight win streak, and he also holds the UBC belt. I mean, he has fought Shane Holbert, who he beat for that UBC title. That not only is he not a pushover, he's one of the better fighters around as well. So I mean, you're talking about Muhammed Abdullah, a guy who really waited and took a different route to get to the professional level, wanted to make sure he was 100% ready. He is ready, he's here, and he's ready to impress.
And Muhammed Abdullah used to, as he said, just kind of train a little bit, show up on fight day. He lost the fight and realized, I'm either going to get out of the sport or I'm going to take it seriously. That was a big part, him moving down to Cincinnati. Now he lives in Allen Park, just outside of Detroit, and he works, saves his money, and 8 weeks before a fight, he'll go camp in Cincinnati, not work during that stretch of time, and just train for the fight.
You know, maybe he hasn't been getting paid like it before, but he's already acting like a professional. He's already treating these fights like his job, taking the time off, focusing on it, executing. Muhammed Abdullah.
As the Hurricane enters the cage, we send it back up to Jake to bring out his opponent.
And his opponent, making his way down the aisle into the red corner, please welcome Jared War Angel Bailey.
Jared Bailey, the War Angel from Team Bailey in Indianapolis, Indiana, heads to the cage.
In the old school boxing robe, I like it.
It's a shout out to the Gentili family who came up in the boxing. As we take a look at the defense tail the tape, Will, what stands out?
Well, you see it, Muhammed Abdullah, 27, Jared Bailey, 29, 6 foot tall for Abdullah, 5'10" for Bailey. Both 185 pounds, 3-inch reach advantage for Abdullah, not a huge one over Jared Bailey. I mean, pretty evenly matched up fighters, even in size, even in build, both in very good shape, and both guys pack a punch from the stand-up. But the interesting thing about Jared Bailey is, I mean, he's 0-3 as a professional. He's looking for that first win. Interesting matchup from the sanctioning body standpoint. They feel like maybe both these guys at a similar skill level.
Yeah, well, Jared's skill level, notwithstanding Jared Bailey's record, he's 0-3. He's lost to some top quality opponents and experienced opponents. His first opponent had 11 fights, then 7, and Brandon Becker was 6-0. Right now, that was his pro debut. For the official introductions, we send it back up into the ROCKTAGON to Jake Digman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a professional bout in the ROCKTAGON 185-pound division, and it is brought to you by Tilted Kilt, the official after party of ROCKTAGON MMA 25. Prepare for battle. Introducing first in the blue corner, he fights out of Dayton, Ohio. He weighed in at 185 pounds, representing Vision MMA. Making his professional debut, please welcome Muhammed the Hurricane Indianapolis, Indiana. He weighed in at 185 pounds, representing Team Bailey with a professional record of 0 wins, 3 losses. Please welcome Jared War Angel Bailey. This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, and when the action begins, your referee is Mr. Gary Copeland.
Middleweight action, professional here in the ROCKTAGON. Jared War Bailey, the War Angel Bailey in the white spandex, Muhammed Abdullah, the Hurricane in the white shorts. Abdullah takes the center, Bailey the more active fighter, on the feet, measuring each other.
And as you said before, Bailey, a very talented fighter, and kudos to him for taking on some tough opponents. It doesn't stop here with Muhammed Abdullah. And Bailey, you can already see, obviously very good wrestling, wants to get this thing on the mat, but he's a striker as well. He'll stand up and box.
Yeah, great takedown defense from Abdullah right away. Bailey got in on the shot, looking for an ankle pick. Both of these fighters are strong middleweights.
You see Abdullah controlling the wrist, pulling it back up off the leg, moving it back over to the other side. Feels as though he's comfortable with just one leg, the double legs, where he's going to have trouble.
Real chess match here. Jared Bailey looking just to power into the takedown. Now he's going to trip that same leg. Looking for the ankle pick, and Muhammed Abdullah.
Once again, he controls the wrist, but this time doesn't move it all the way up and uses the knees to inflict damage to the rib section. Another huge one there, and then one to the face as well.
Yeah, good use of the knees in the clinch by Abdullah.
Another big knee as they separate there. Abdullah, what's interesting about him is he knows how to apply pressure and inflict pain in interesting situations. A lot of times fighters don't take advantage of the separation. Abdullah's going to strike you every time. Combo leg kick.
Bailey again rushes into the cage. Nice knee by Abdullah. And we're back in with Bailey working against the cage for the single.
And right now, great position for Muhammed Abdullah to be in. Yeah, he has his back in this cage, but right next to his own corner, so they have a little better view of what's going on and can let him know exactly what Jared Bailey's trying to do. Still trying to use those knees, missed with that one.
Abdullah, a longer, lanky fighter, but able to use those knees in the clinch there. Doing a nice job of creating the separation, be able to get the tie knee up. Here's Bailey again pushing. Bailey wants this fight on the ground.
Yeah.
And really working hard, expending a lot of energy though. And while Abdullah has to carry his weight, he's the one, he's got the tie plum. Bailey knew it, and you see him posture up straight in the back.
Well, he ate a right hand in that exchange as well. And even though
he's got the takedown,
he finally got the takedown, he actually had Abdullah's back against the cage the whole first part of the round. Muhammed Abdullah was the one who was doing all the damage against Bailey.
Yeah, certainly Abdullah has been the one to score more points as of yet standing. But now it's a different story as Bailey gets the fight to the ground where he wants to be, and now he is in the open guard of Muhammed Abdullah.
He stepped over with that left leg almost effortlessly, and then
Abdullah trying to get up, but he got halfway and then stopped, and that allowed Bailey to take his back. If you're going to get up, you got to explode to your feet.
Very indecisive. You never want to be that. Looking for the
He's going to turn into him, and Abdullah does a nice job turning into Bailey and taking top control. Bailey wraps him up. He's in his half guard or half mount. And Abdullah is going to land some punches here. Looking to land some rights here.
He got one good one in there before Bailey was able to start blocking. Now Bailey's going to scramble and try to get out of it.
Nice knee. Abdullah.
Look at the timing on that, Ryan. That's the separation. Most fighters will just let the other guy separate. Abdullah's going to bring the pain every time you try to get away, and more right hands.
There's a right by Abdullah and another knee.
And right now, Bailey is going to need to probably get to his corner after this first round if he survives and look for a different game plan, because everything he's tried to do has been countered by Muhammed Abdullah.
Bailey explodes up.
Once again on the separation, this time catches him with a left kick.
Bailey did a nice job blocking that kick, but you know, as Abdullah throws it out there, he's constantly looking to push the pace and land, constantly looking to score. Abdullah takes the center of the cage. Bailey so far has only been successful on one takedown.
And Muhammad has kind of made himself a counter striker here in this first round and really waiting for Bailey to bring the pressure on him and then reacting to what he brings.
We enter the final 30 seconds of our first round. This is professional action. Middleweight division, 5-minute rounds.
Bailey already looks winded.
He does what he has expended a lot of energy. Going for those takedowns. And he's a muscled guy. Those muscles need oxygen. Muhammed Abdullah looks extremely calm in the cage. Head kick by Bailey, misses. There's the end of the first round. Will, we've seen a takedown from Bailey, reversal by Muhammed Abdullah. Some good striking in the clinch by Abdullah. Who do you see ahead after one round in this fight?
I mean, I think Abdullah absolutely dominated round number one. Yeah, Bailey got the one takedown, but I think it diminishes it when it takes you 5 or 6 attempts to finally get there. And then when you get there, it's reversed so easily by Muhammed Abdullah. Bailey's corner is going to have to tell him, look, we're going to have to take a different approach in this fight. That obviously isn't going to work. I mean, when they separated and round number one ended, Muhammed Abdullah turned around like he wasn't even in a fight. They had to go take Jared Bailey, put him on the floor, and lift his legs up in there trying to get the oxygen back. I mean,
here's a takedown from Bailey. This is really the big moment of the first round for Jared Bailey.
Yeah, maybe the only moment.
Really the only burst of offense there.
Yeah.
And Abdullah has had success both in the clinch as well as just standing in the middle of the cage.
And he really bought his time in that first round, waiting to see what Jared Bailey was going to bring. I think he's more measured now. His corners told him where he can strike. And you're probably going to see Muhammed Abdullah a little bit more on the attack here in round number two.
Round two, Jared Bailey in the the white shorts, white spandex. Muhammed Abdullah, white shorts. Once again, Bailey he's looking to clinch those hands and get a takedown. Good takedown defense by Muhammed Abdullah.
Sometimes it takes just bending backwards, leaning backwards and bending the knees to break the grip. His corner told him to do it. Instantly did it. That's a student of the game right there, and another huge knee. Bailey's been eating those for the entire first round and now the beginning of the second.
Bailey, there's
and he's just flipped off him by Abdullah.
Abdullah with a leg kick that lands, goes upstairs, and knee to the face, that lands. Kick to the body by Jared Bailey. Head kick by Bailey.
A flying knee from Abdullah, and I gotta say, Bailey didn't really seem too shook by it, came right back at him.
Landed, and Abdullah looked like he wanted to go for the finish, realized Jared Bailey wasn't as hurt as he thought.
You don't see a lot of those land, and you certainly don't see a lot of people walk away from him after they do.
Muhammed Abdullah really showing a varied striking arsenal here. Throwing a lot of different combinations, a lot of different strikes. Knees.
From different angles, too. He's switching his angle every time they engage into another set of strikes. It's very interesting.
He's doing a nice job of using angles, as you're right. Right-handed. He's got the reach advantage. So after he throws punches, he gets out of the range of Jared Bailey. There's a short elbow that lands. Excellent job using a short weapon, the elbow, as Bailey was coming in.
And I think you could hear the thought on that one. That one connected cleanly to the forehead of Bailey. And Bailey now got him in the clinch, going to try to work the back of the legs. But certainly Muhammed Abdullah is just outclassing him.
Big uppercut by Muhammed Abdullah. Big knee. There's the plum clinch again. And, you know, the braids on Jared Bailey almost gives a natural spot for the hands. Like it's two grips for the hands. You know, Brian Rogers fought Alexander Shlemenko in Bellator, and he had the dreadlocks. And he said he cut the dreadlocks the night of the fight because Shlemenko put his hands into the hair and was holding on to the dreadlocks. Yeah. It was a disadvantage for him. And here with the braids that Bailey has in that tie plum clinch, Muhammad has almost like hand grips.
And he's certainly taking advantage of him. Every time he gets that plum grip up there, he pulls the head down and lands another knee. Kudos to Jared Bailey for taking it and not going down, but he is taking an absolute beating through 2 rounds right now. Some vicious attacks by Muhammed Abdullah, and Bailey just kind of hanging on at this point.
Doing it real nice. He has landed quite a few blows here, especially with the knees.
Gary Copeland's going to separate him. He wants action. This certainly favors Muhammed Abdullah. Straight right there, and that went right through the hands that were attempting the block for Bailey. One thing Abdullah needs to watch is now he's getting a little cocky and those hands are falling. I mean, he's got a big guy in Jared Bailey across him. Maybe he doesn't have a win. Maybe he hasn't done much during this fight. It only takes one punch. Got to keep those hands up if you're Abdullah.
Well, Bailey's a compact, powerful guy.
Yeah.
It's not going to take much for him to knock out a fighter. Abdullah, a real veteran, though. I mean, he's been in the cage a lot of times his first voyage here into the ROCKTAGON. Bailey now, sense of urgency, getting after him. Uppercut, though. Uppercut by Muhammed Abdullah. A knee in the clinch, pushed him against the cage, and kind of lets up. It looked like he was going to push it.
And he bounced him off the cage, got him with a right, and then backed up off the aggression there. It didn't look like that was a place where he was going to try to go in for the kill instead. Playing a little cat and mouse here with Jared Bailey, or maybe just respecting the power from the inside. Still dancing.
Muhammed Abdullah, impressed by his patience and his composure in this fight so far.
And watch his eyes. Watch his eye. Always watching the hips. The hips don't lie. You can't fake a movement from the hips. You can see the entire body when you stare at that region.
Yeah, as much as you want to watch the hips, the guy's throwing up top with his hands.
Well, right there, and Bailey finally landed a good shot.
Nice
but then
knee,
a huge
and
knee.
Bailey's saying it's low.
Did not look too low.
Gary Copeland asks him, and there's a knee to the body.
Yeah, that was definitely the midsection.
We're coming near the end of round 2 here, professionals. 3 5-minute rounds. Jared Bailey pushing Muhammed Abdullah up against the cage. Both of these guys looking for their first win. This is the professional debut of Muhammed Abdullah. Inside 10 seconds, Bailey with a nice right. Another one. Really, the first opportunity to land some offense by Jared Bailey.
And that's really where he could be most effective, is in that clinch. If I were him, I wouldn't even try to get this fight down to the ground. He just hasn't had any success at it. Get him up in the cage in the clinch. He's more powerful on the inside, and he seems to be winning that battle.
The only problem with that is when he's in the clinch, Muhammed Abdullah has been able to utilize the knees.
Yeah.
And really take shots into his midsection. As we look at Karina Ertl, one of the ROCKTAGON Ring Girl winners here, Indianapolis regional contest. They will compete later this year for the national to become the Ring Girls. And you see, this is the flip we were talking about.
The athleticism there by Abdullah is ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
places the foot on the legs of Bailey, flips him over, and then gets him with a head kick. Shortly after this, there was a flying knee to the face. I mean, Abdullah, there it is right there. I mean, Abdullah really did everything in that round. But at the very end, you saw it. Jared Bailey, when he got him into the clinch and was able to actually neutralize the right knee of Abdullah, he was able to do a little bit of damage. Much easier said than done, though, Ryan.
Let's good look at Muhammed Abdullah. We come into the third round. His corner tails him. Last round, best round. Gary Copeland brings the fighters together. We got 5 more minutes, and it's Jared Bailey, hands over his head, telling the crowd, let's go, let's get it up. We're going to put on a show here.
Well, he better, because he needs a knockout or a submission here in the third round to win this.
He was looking for it. That was a big left hook by Jared Bailey.
Fortunately, ate a kick to the midsection as he came around with it.
Straight right by Bailey. He does have a sense of urgency, and he's throwing the big bombs.
That's what he needs to do. He needs to try to finish this thing. Get inside, land a power punch, take your shot at it, but he's eating him every time he tries to come
Abdullah
in.
with a straight right. And there's shot below the belt. Jared Bailey said, come on, man, and then took the timeout.
I didn't see where that one landed. Now, he had claimed over here against the cage, which was exactly right in front of us, that the knee landed low earlier, and it didn't. It was in the midsection. I mean, it was a clean knee. So Gary Copeland's actually going to warn him on this.
We're going to get a look at, well, it was just a little bit after. Let's see where this kick lands here.
Slow it
Abdullah
down.
comes in, and
That one landed low. That one certainly landed low. So right there, good job by Gary Copeland. Issues the warning to Muhammed Abdullah.
Excellent camera work. Jared Bailey again, center of the cage here against Muhammed Abdullah. Let's see if he continues throwing those real heavy strikes, looking for that knockout blow.
He's got to.
Compact fighter. Staying in the orthodox stance, but it's that lead left hook where Bailey seems It's his favorite punch there, and seems to have a lot of power. Best hope of landing that knockout punch, and you see him kind of stepping into it, ready to rotate those hips. There's a right that lands on the side of Muhammad. Muhammad shrinks back.
Got him with a straight right there in that exchange too.
2 knees by Abdullah.
And all of a sudden Bailey with new life in this fight.
Well, I think he knows he's down 2 rounds to none.
But look at this, staying busy. Muhammed Abdullah, even in the clinch, even when nothing's going on, still pepper in the face, using the elbows, using the fists.
Knee by Abdullah. He's got to press up tense. Looking for Bailey to push away and land some strikes as he disengages.
And it's not by coincidence that every time Bailey has been able to wrangle up Muhammed Abdullah, it's right by his own corner. I mean, Abdullah's not stupid. He knows where he's got his best shot.
And Abdullah's landing some punches. Big knees. Big knees. Shamar Bailey covering up. That one got through. Uppercut by Jared Bailey. Big knee by Muhammed Abdullah. And a punch by Bailey. Bailey's not going anywhere.
No, I mean,
he's
there's
got
a lot
the
of
clinch.
muscle.
Here comes the knees.
A lot of muscle in that chest and stomach.
Big
that
knee
one,
to the
that one
jaw.
actually caught the face.
Oh, sure.
But Bailey's still coming.
Got him pushed up against the cage.
It's like a bulldozer. He just grabs you and keep pushing you back till he gets you where he thinks he wants you. Now working on the legs. Those are some old school 5th grade Charlie horses right there.
Those are right in front of us here, Will. Those are landing a lot harder than I remember Charlie horses in the 5th grade.
Well, if Jared Bailey was giving me Charlie horses in the 5th grade, I wouldn't be here with you right now.
ROCKTAGON 25, prepare for battle. Muhammed Abdullah right now landing some knees on Jared Bailey.
That's really what he's done the most damage in this fight with, is those knees. Waits for the right moment, drops into the chest, the midsection, or even the face of Jared Bailey. Another one.
Big knee. Minute and a half left in this fight. Jared Bailey, center of the cage again. He's taking some shots, especially to the body, but he's gone nowhere. Right in the face of Muhammed Abdullah for over 13 minutes now. Outside leg kick lands by Bailey. Right hook just misses the chin of Muhammed Abdullah.
And he's got to be careful. He keeps dropping those hands, and right now you're fighting a desperate dog. I mean, Jared Bailey knows he's in a corner and has to knock you out to win this fight. And Bailey's got to do something. He can't afford to be standing against the cage. He's got to separate, as you said, Ryan. Got to try to land some blows. Instead, he's just eating knee after knee in this situation.
Abdullah Bailey, but you know, as long as they're here, there's another knee by Muhammad.
And he caught him with a right up underhook up under the arm as well. Now Gary Copeland's going to separate him for the final 30 seconds of the fight. Crowd likes it. See if we get some action here as Bailey needs a home run.
Jared Bailey still in the center of the cage. Muhammed Abdullah content, work on the outside. He's got to believe he's got 3 rounds in the books at this point. He can hang on. I know he wants a finish, but looks like he's cruising to a decision. A big knee by Muhammed Abdullah, and I don't know what it would take to put away Jared Bailey because Muhammed Abdullah's hit him with everything in his arsenal.
And that's why Muhammed Abdullah stayed away from him. If a guy's not going to go down, screw it. Let it go to the judges' cards because he's going to end up winning there anyway. A game opponent in Jared Bailey. He's fought some of the best out there, but once again, just outclassed by Muhammed Abdullah in the knees and the clinch.
Very impressive performance by Muhammed Abdullah. A part you don't talk about that much is the takedown defense.
Yeah. He put on a clinic there with it as we see a replay here. And watch the elusiveness of Abdullah as Bailey continues to come in, continues to attack. But once again, that takedown defense. Sprawls out, got his balance, knows how to posture up against the cage. And really, Bailey has had to be so frustrated at this point. How many times he attempted to take down Abdullah, wasn't able to do it, and then got himself stuck in a bad situation where he had to eat knees to the midsection, eat knees to the chest, eat knees to the face, and it's going to end up in his 4th loss of his professional career.
He's faced tough competition. If this goes the way of Muhammed Abdullah, there's certainly no shame in that loss.
But Abdullah, very impressive. We talked about one of the guys a lot of people were expecting big things out of at the professional ranks. He's probably started off with a bang. We'll find out in a second officially from the judges, but it looks as though he scored his first professional fight. And you know what, Ryan? A lot of guys have those jitters. You know, you might have fought a lot at the amateur ranks 12 times. It's a whole different ballgame when you walk in there and there's actually cash on the line at the end of the fight.
Absolutely. Muhammed Abdullah, as we mentioned, he's a veteran. He's a veteran of both sanctioned and unsanctioned, and as is Jared Bailey. But this is what ROCKTAGON is all about. 2 guys leading on the cage. Action from the beginning to the end. That was a great fight. We've got the judges' scorecards in, and we'll send it up to Jake Digman for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for both of these professional ROCKTAGON warriors. After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards, where the judges score this bout 29, 28, 30, 27, and 30, 27 for your winner by unanimous decision, Muhammed the Hurricane Abdullah.